Yeah, that'd be awesome. Hey guys, it's Joe Rosen, Lissette, Hurtado, and we're fired up today to bring you another episode live on home inspections. We got a lot of really interesting things going on in the market right now with appraisals, inspections. I'll tell you, money's not even the thing that's necessarily winning the offers anymore, right? If you've got 5, 10, 15 offers, there's always 2, 3, 4 offers that are at the top, and they're all within maybe $5,000 of each other. That's not what's winning. I mean, if you're not even up there, you're not even in the mix. You've got to have the money, right? But if you're communicating with the agent, if you're coming in strong, if you got good buyer expectations because you've set them up well, they're going to be fine money-wise. It's the terms that matter now. And one of those big terms is inspections, right? So we talked a couple weeks ago about should I even get an inspection, right? But this week I want to get a little deeper into, let's assume we're getting the inspection as a buyer, and I want to come back as a seller too and talk about the inspection being involved. What are some things we can do to make that inspection look a little bit better, a little bit more alluring to the seller? And Lissette, I'm going to let you start. What are some things as a buyer's agent that you're doing with your buyer to make that offer look better, even if it's got that inspection contingency involved?
Just minimizing the days of inspection, I think, is a huge starting point. If you can minimize that from, I've seen 10 days requested, bring it down to 7 from, bring it down to 5. I like 5. You get, if you could get it between those 5 days, get it done, read the report. If there's any issues, address it quickly. It's gonna really, for the seller, it's one of those points that stands you apart from the rest of the offers. You mean business, you wanna tie this up quickly and you wanna get it done. You wanna drag it out.
Yep. Now, I'll tell you too, with that, you got to keep in mind, guys, if my good friend Devin Morante is listening with DBJ Inspections, he's going to tell you, oh my God, 5 days, I don't know if I can get it done in 5 days, right? So there are things that you need to know about doing that strategy. Awesome strategy. Just make sure that you've got strong contact with your inspector. Ask them first. A lot of times I'll do it. Hey, I'm putting an offer in right now. It should be accepted by the end of today. If we wanted an inspection by, what's today? Today's Wednesday. By next Monday, would you be able to do it? If they say yes, boom, 5 days, put it in there. If they say no, when could you do it? I can do it in 6 days. Okay, fine, change the 5 to 6. But at that point, you can tell the agent, listen, I've already called my inspector. I've already got the date locked in. I'm good to go. All I'm waiting on is your seller's signatures. It makes it feel a little bit better. What do you think of that, Lissette?
I've done that so many times where I pick up the phone, contact my inspector, 1 or 2 inspectors, so I understand who has the availability, and ask them, listen, we're about to go under contract. Can you get this done this week? Can you get it done in the next 3 days? Yeah. So then maybe we have 2 days to negotiate those terms if anything big arises. So yeah, communication upfront and getting everything set before you even submit the offer is huge.
Yes. Now, I'll tell you something I've done as a listing agent, but even as a buyer's agent, you can start to do this too to make your offers look strong. I want to know that you're limiting your inspection, not the inspection itself. Do whatever you want. Inspect. I understand that people want to know, get it. But I want to know you're serious. I'm getting a lot of agents. I'm going to pick on down south, man, from West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and they're just throwing in offers. They haven't even seen the doggone home, man, but they're so concerned about losing the home, and they don't want to drive up and look at it. They don't want to refer it to one of us because they don't want to pay that referral fee, so they're just putting in offers. What happens is when you accept those offers from agents down south, I'm saying generally speaking here, not always, a lot of times the inspection will pop up with almost nothing, and they'll want to get out, right? Because they put in 4 offers, 3 got accepted, they pick the one that they like and they move forward with that one, and they drop the other 2 for virtually no reason. So to protect against that, I've done 2 things. I've said, okay, listen, my buyer coming in will limit what we're looking for, either in things or in money, right? So I asked my buyer, like, seriously, tell me, what are some things that you would be concerned about? If you had a chipped tile, if you had a little bit of wood rot on your wooden siding, you can see it. Does that make you nervous, or are you okay with either living with it or repairing it, or whatever it is you want to do? With most people, not everybody, but most people, they're really concerned about the 2 big ticket items, right? The roof and the AC. So I say, hey, let's write in. We're going to get an inspection, but the only things we'll negotiate is the roof or the AC. If it's anything else, we're not going to negotiate. Are you comfortable with that? If I see that as a listing agent, that looks way better than every other inspection contingency out there, right? Maybe you're not quite confident that the AC and the roof are the only things that you're going to want to negotiate on. Okay, cool. Tell me an amount of money that would make you want to walk away. Okay. Maybe it's $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, whatever it is. Let's just say it's 10 grand. Okay. So you're telling me if there's $10,000 worth of issues, you'd still want to chug forward. But if it's more than that, it's going to be so much that maybe we'd want to either negotiate or walk away. Okay, cool. Then write in the first $10,000 in issues will be covered by the buyer. Anything over and above will either be negotiated between the buyer and the seller, or the buyer has the right to walk away. Okay, as a selling agent, as the seller's agent, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, that looks pretty good. Now there's some more details you're going to want to write into the wording, but that would make me feel confident. If you saw that was as a listing agent, how would that make you feel versus every other just blanket inspection contingency, allowing a buyer to get up because they don't like the color of the light bulbs?
No, that's a game changer, because sometimes some major issue, which you think is major, like let's say there is a leak in the roof, but it could be something minor.
Yeah.
It could be repaired with some patching up, and it could be a $500 to $1,000 repair. That's still within the $10,000 bubble that you're giving the seller. So lots of issues, even in AC, could be addressed under $10,000. Another thing that I like to talk to my buyers regarding also is, before we step into the contract, is what issues would be a problem with the appraisal, specifically if you're FHA or VA buyer. So those are also issues that I would say, okay, well, these are non-negotiables. Other than that, cosmetics issues, we do expect for them to come up, especially if the property is a little bit older, and we would expect that we would have to address them yourself as the buyer.
Yeah. Here's another thing that I've seen both as the listing agent and as the buyer's agent. You don't even have to do a lot of it, man. If you can add just a little bit, maybe $1,000, $2,000, something where the seller knows it's going to be painful for you to walk away. They know you're serious. They know you're not a Fort Lauderdale buyer just throwing out 4 offers, and whichever ones get accepted, now you're going to start the actual negotiations. If you can put some non-refundable escrow money down, now we know you're serious. Not enough to bankrupt anybody. We're not trying to take $10,000, $20,000 from you. But if you're putting in $1,000 or $2 non-refundable, I know you're serious. I know it's going to have to be a big issue that we cannot negotiate on that inspection that's going to make you walk away. And that would make me feel confident. Have you seen that at all lately?
I have. And that is also a game changer, because it's showing how confident they are in their offer, how serious they are.
Yeah.
In this market, we do have so many offers being thrown at us. Sometimes the buyers just change their mind within 24 to 48 hours. We don't know. They saw another property and they're going after it, or they have buyer's remorse. So putting that non-refundable escrow is huge in my eyes, and as a seller.
So here's another thing that I've seen some buyers do, right? As a listing agent, I've had people say to me, I just want to do one for awareness. And I'll say, hey, not only should you do one for awareness, but you can get a warranty, right? So if you're concerned about anything popping up and you can afford a small chunk of money, maybe $500, $600, $700 for a warranty, that'll cover any major things that happen for the next year, 18 months, whatever it is that warranty covers. So if you get that inspection, you see some things pop up, you can get a warranty and it'll cover some of those things if they break after that inspection, right? So it'll cover certain things. It won't cover other things. Every warranty company is so different that I don't even want to get into the depths of the warranties. But I will say getting a warranty on there too will sometimes make people feel comfortable enough, especially if they can afford $600 to $800, but they can't afford a $5,000, $10,000 issue, that'll help them move forward. Are you seeing a lot of warranties included right now?
Not right now at the moment. I'm a little bit more heavier on the listing side, so we aren't offering any warranties, but I haven't seen it on the buyer sides recently.
So exactly, I do a little bit more listings too. I'll tell a buyer who wants to come in with an inspection contingency, listen, what if we don't have the contingency? You can get the inspection for awareness, no contingency, but you, Mr. Buyer, can purchase a warranty for yourself, and that'll help you. Sometimes just hearing that, they'll say, oh, I didn't really think about that. That would help us out for the next year, 18 months, whatever it is. We can build up some reserves. And at that point, we're the homeowners. Anything that pops up, it is what it is. That'll get them over the hump. So that's something that I've used before. Here's another thing that I've done. I had one buyer who said, listen, I'm going to pay the inspection fee anyway. And I'm committed. Why don't I just pay for an inspector to come out and look at these 1, 2, 3 homes? If I'm not interested, 5 minutes, let's go to the next home. Nope, not interested. Let's go to okay, this one I like. let's do a quick inspection. I'm talking about just the big things, right? Go up and look at the attic, test the AC, anything non-intrusive that you can do in a quick 30 to 60 minute showing. And let me know, are you super concerned about this, or are we looking pretty good? You can get through that really quick in the time of a showing. And if you can get that done at the showing, you can submit an offer if you're comfortable, if you're confident that doesn't have an inspection contingency in there. I've done that, and that works wonders. But that again takes outside of the box thinking. Are you seeing a lot of agents? Oh man, I already know what my answer is going to be to this. Are you seeing a lot of agents, buyers agents, thinking outside of the box right now and coming up with stuff like that?
It all depends, I think, on their experience.
Yeah.
You see the experienced agents definitely thinking outside of their box and looking up creative ways to make sure they could guarantee getting this contract executed and holding on to this deal. Where you have agents that are a little bit newer to the market, they're sticking really by the guidelines and not trying to experiment with neat things like that. I think it also depends a lot on the buyer's experience. If you have a new buyer coming on the market and they're not really educated on some of these problems that these properties can have, especially if they're an older home, they get scared away very easily. So it really depends on where the buyer is in the process.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on what you just said because it's such an important thing to understand. I am in a lot of different first-time homebuyer groups, real estate groups, realtor groups on Facebook, and on Facebook, and I'll tell you that you see a lot of the experienced agents moving forward as if it's the same as any other market, right? They're going to succeed in any market. You'll see a lot of the newer agents that'll say, oh my God, I've shown 12 houses. I've presented 11 offers. All of them were beat out by somebody else. I'm so frustrated. I'll see buyers in the first time home buyer group. Oh my God, I've submitted 7 offers. None of them have been accepted. This is so frustrating. Guys, let me talk to buyers first. Buyers, it matters who you work with. It matters who you work with. If you're working with an aggressive, intelligent, experienced agent who thinks outside of the box, who's going to aggressively make a proactive phone call to that listing agent to find out what it is that buyer wants, and it's not, or that seller wants, and it's not just the seller. You're also selling the listing agent. Is the listing agent supposed to get in the way and make decisions? No, but guess what? They do. And if you know that and you can appeal to that other agent, you can help that agent, you can prop that agent up, you can do all the work, make that agent look good, man. Do whatever you need to do to get that offer accepted. That's important. And I'll tell you right now, a lot of especially newer, inexperienced buyers agents, they're not doing that. I can't tell you how many times I'll see texts or emails and I think, man, as a listing agent, you're making my job tougher and slower. You're the last on my priority list. I'm going after the juicy offers that are giving me all the things that I want so I can make my seller happy. You need to really appeal to that listing agent, right? And I'll tell you too, as a buyer, right? Or I'm sorry, as a buyer's agent, you want to do all those things. You want to do all those things, right? If you're a buyer's agent right now and you're like, Joe, what are you talking about? I'm telling you, contact me. I don't care what brokerage you're with. I don't care about anything. Let me know some of these problems you're going through. I'll share with you exactly what I would do in those situations to set you apart from everybody else. If you're just coming in $5,000 over with an inspection, no appraisal shortage coverage, and you're closing whenever you want to close, you're not even asking the listing agent when they want to close, you're really setting yourself up for failure almost 100% of the time. The ones that you are going to win on are either overpriced homes or homes that really need a lot of work, right? You're not going to get any of those good-looking suckers that are priced right. You're not going to win any of those. So I really think that's important. Tell me a little bit about your feelings with that when it comes to being a newer agent, an inexperienced agent versus some of the really sharp, really aggressive agents.
No, most definitely. You can tell also they're not so afraid to negotiate with the terms. They know how to work with the offer. They know how to work with the contract for the more experienced agent. One tip that I like to tell buyers agents, I don't know, maybe a few of them do this, but I did it from the very get-go. I had a contractor that I trusted. So whenever we got these inspection reports, I sent it over to him and told him, give me a price, an estimate. Yes. How much is it going to be to repair these items? And that opens up the buyer's eyes. Something that looks like a leak, it's a couple $100. Something electrical sounds scary. It's just a rewiring. It's not a big issue. So if you have someone that you have that relationship with and you trust and they could give you the information and the pricing, you relay that information to your buyer, they're now more educated and they understand, okay, it looks pretty scary on paper, but when we get to the nitty gritty of it, it's not such a big issue.
That's a great point. And guys, reverse engineer that, right? Lisette's got this great contractor that she works with. I've got two that I work with also. I don't go to that extent, but I like that idea. I like that idea because now it gives that buyer a very objective. How many times you had a buyer and they see what you and I would consider a pretty minimal, pretty simple report, and you and I are thinking, this is awesome. And they get it and they're like, oh my God, the house is falling apart. You get that all the time, right?
All the time.
So being able to put an objective number to it so you can see, oh, all of this stuff for this $400,000 home would cost me $4,100. All right, that's not really a big deal in the scheme of things. That's literally 1% of the home's value. No big deal. Let's move forward. I think that's incredibly helpful. So again, reverse engineer that as a buyer's agent, create those relationships. And listen, it's not just a win for you and your buyer. It's a win for that contractor. If you need that stuff done, that contractor is going to be the first person in line to be able to get that stuff done, right? Mm-hmm. So holy smokes, are you setting them up in line, setting them up for that? One last thing I want to throw out, and then Lissette, I'm going to let you end always, as I always do with the Gold Nugget. When I've had multiple offer situations as a listing agent, let's just say I just had one. I had 20 some offers on there. The seller wanted 60 days to close. I would bet, let's just say I got 25 offers. I don't remember how many it was. I bet 3 called me and asked, how many days would your seller like to close? The rest of them, if they were even close, they didn't even get a message from me because I didn't have enough time, right? But if you were in the top maybe 6, 7, 8, I got back and said, hey, listen, you got 30 days on here. We'd like 60. Can you do it? Almost all of them, maybe all of them said, oh yeah, of course we can. We just assumed 30 days is what your seller would want. Think about that, because you didn't reach out, you didn't text, you didn't call, you didn't ask the question. You almost lost the offer because you didn't ask a simple question. When your buyer can perform on 60 days versus 30. So really, really, really be proactive. Ask the super simple questions. Also, if you can get the call in, but a lot of times you can't because they're so busy. Send a text and make it so easy for that listing agent. When I see a text and it's all laid out and it's very direct and it's asking very direct questions, I'm like, oh, thank you. And it's so simple to just reply with very direct answers. So if you can do that, that sets you up too. All right, I'm excited for this golden nugget. Let's hear it, Lissette. Lay it out.
I'm a huge fan of inspections. I always tell my buyers, get them done. Don't ignore the inspection, but don't be intimidated also by the inspection report. Go through it, ask questions. Yeah. Even if you have 5 days, there's so much that you could get done in those 5 days. Get estimates, get quotes. Don't let it tear your deal apart unless it's like, okay, it needs a whole brand new roof and foundation's gone and there's termites. And then, walk away at that point. But don't be intimidated by inspections. Get them done.
Awesome point. And I'll tell you, I mean, I work with DBJ inspections all the time. I've had those guys literally call out to my freaked out buyers at 8:45 at night, have a 45-minute conversation going through all that stuff. And at the end, I'll get a call from my buyer and they're like, I'm completely comfortable with everything now. Now that it was explained to me, I'm good. Go to the inspection. My gosh, go to the inspection. If you can't get that phone call, you'll still get colored photos and videos and details and all that good stuff. So don't worry about that. But that's a great, great point. Lissette, as always, I appreciate it. Have an amazing week. And guys, join us next Wednesday. We're here live every single Wednesday at 10:30. If you've got topics you want us to bring up, let us know what they are, and we'll certainly talk on those too. But otherwise, have a great week.
Awesome. Take care, guys.